Going on, guys? Worms Forum coming at you guys today. I'm gonna give you guys some Lions news. The Lions released 6 players today. I'll give you all 6 right now. Wide receiver Travis Fulgham, offensive guard Josh Garnett, DB Michael Jackson, wide receiver Chris Lacey, linebacker Christian Sam, and defensive end Jonathan Wynn. Just got a couple concerns about the 2 wide receivers that we let go in Travis Fulgham and Chris Lacey. It's 2 guys that don't really pop out. They're not 2 guys that are crazy good or super productive, but I'm kind of questioning the direction that Bob Quinn is going here. Love our starters at the wide receiver position. We got Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones Jr., Danny Amendola in the slot as the 3rd guy, and then we have deep ball Marvin Hall. Love those four, but you have 2 starters in Amendola and Marvin Jones that are pretty much in their 30s. Marvin Jones being 30, Danny Amendola being 34, both to turn 35 in November. Both with injury history. And you have Marvin Hall, who's kind of been up and down his career in the NFL with a couple teams, Baltimore being one of them, and then came on to Detroit and was a really good asset for Matt Stafford and Blau and Driscoll. Came on and was a good deep ball threat, averaging about 37 yards to 40 yards a catch. But he's not a starter, right? So I'm kind of questioning the direction. So they got rid of Fulgham, okay? He was decent in college, went to Old Dominion, had a good 2018, 63, bunch of catches, with 63 catches, 1,083 yards, 9 touchdowns. Didn't do anything crazy in college. He was a 6th-round pick, but young. And then you had Chris Lacey, who was another guy that didn't do much at Oklahoma State. But another young guy, big body. So I'm just trying to figure out what they're really trying to do here. I know there's going to be guys that are going to be released. There's going to be guys that are going to be released from other football teams. We've got training camp going on. We've got roster cuts being made. It just comes down to what's the plan? What's the plan for Bob Quinn? Obviously, we're going to have to pick up guys for depth. But you have guys on the roster right now. You even got Kenny Golladay, who's turned himself into a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. But you don't have him even signed for 2021. You don't have Marvin Jones signed for 2021. You don't have Danny Amendola signed for 2021. Do you get what I'm saying here, guys? You get what I'm saying here, guys? It's not what's the plan? Draft? Free agency? You got guys that are hoping to get cut, because now the depth has kind of gotten lower. Now, we have guys like Jeremy Davis on our team. I think we picked him up from the Chargers. He was a free agent in the Chargers. He's strictly a special teams guy. Victor Bolden, another guy that hasn't done anything in his career, but he's kind of a punt returner. But that's not going to cut it. And then you have Agnew, who's converted DB, who's turned into a wide receiver, who was strictly a gadget guy with speed to burn, and he's trying to learn a whole new position at wide receiver now because he didn't do well at the DB position, cornerback position. Now they're trying to flip him to wide receiver. And then you have guys like Tom Kennedy, who hasn't done anything in the NFL either. He's trying to do that Danny Amendola type thing, you know what I mean? Undrafted, little slot guy. So what can he do? I'm just trying to figure out what. I'm just voicing my concern a little bit. I'm not freaking out over it. I'm not getting panicky. It's just a little bit concerning. I just want to know what his plans are, because you have to get depth, especially with guys like with Amendola and Jones, who get hurt. And they do get hurt the last couple of years. I think Amendola's been pretty good the last 2 years. I think he only missed maybe 2 games. One for Detroit, one I think it was Miami. And then Marvin Jones, Marvin Jones has missed a total of around 10 games, 9 to 10 games, I think, the last couple of years. So he's starting to get that little injury bug on him, and it's just concerning, guys. It's just concerning. Now we're going to have to look for depth, and I don't think we have the depth on the depth chart right now. You don't. Jeremy Davis, Victor Bolden, Jamal Agnew, and Tom Kennedy just don't cut it for me. We have Quintez Cephas, that we picked up in the 5th round, the kid out of Wisconsin who is a very underrated wide receiver. He played in a run-heavy offense at Wisconsin. Probably would have had bigger numbers if he would have played out, a pass-happy school. So I like that. You need depth. You need 2-3 more guys. You need 2-3 more guys in this league, guys, because guys go down all the time. So now we're going to have to rely on roster cuts, and that just concerns me. I thought, and what concerns me is I really think they probably should have kept an eye on Fulgham and tried to develop him more. You know what I mean? He was drafted last year in the 6th round. You gave the guy literally 1 year. You gave him 1 year of trying to develop him. And we've had this discussion on the One Pride podcast. Noble Sports Entertainment, TA, brought up a good question, I think 2 weeks ago or last week. Do we give up on players too early? It was a great question, and I think this situation, it might be. I'm not saying Travis Fulgham is the next Terrell Owens. All I'm saying is that he is a big body. He had good hands. He made some pretty nice catches last year in preseason. I remember, man. He got up and got a couple balls. He's got some leaping ability. I think someone will scoop him up almost immediately. I'm not saying he's going to be anything in the NFL, but he would have been solid depth. You know what I mean? Chris Lacey, okay, whatever, but he's another big body guy that they probably maybe could have kept an eye on. But they obviously love Cephas, and they obviously think Agnew is going to be something. So I don't see Bolden or Jeremy Davis doing anything offensively. Those guys are strictly special teams guys. And Tom Kennedy, I'm not really too sure. So it concerns me a bit with that, guys. And then the other one that concerned me a bit was the release of offensive guard Josh Garnett. Now, this was a guy that was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, 2016, I believe. 49ers actually traded up to get this guy, 28th overall. He started as a rookie, but then the last 2 years after that, he never really saw the field, and then was released by the 2019 season. So he was a failure in San Francisco. Took all of 2019 off, all of last year off. Then the Lions picked him up in February, I believe it was. Picked him up in February, and then we just released him. Now, we have a lot of depth at guard, and we drafted 2 guards last year in this year's April's draft. That being Jonah Jackson from Ohio State, and then in the 3rd round, and then Logan Stenberg from Kentucky in the 4th. Back-to-back guards. 2 really good guards, by the way. Stenberg is more of the run-blocking guard, and Jonah Jackson kind of is a mix of everything, but he needs a little bit more work on his pass protection. He needs a little more work on his run blocking. He's a really good pass protector, Jonah Jackson. So it's kind of 2 different guards. Logan's a little bit more nasty, mean, not very well liked in college because he's just so mean, but a nasty guard that you want on your team, that you want on your side to protect your quarterback. And Stafford needs all the protection that he can get. So, and this Garnett kid was an Outland Trophy winner in 2015, meaning he's the best old lineman in college football. So whatever happened to him, I don't really know what happened to him in San Francisco. He obviously wasn't very good, or just something. And then he actually, I don't want to say he quit football in 2019, but he took a year off, probably trying to contemplate whether he wants to play anymore. One of those kind of things, you know what I mean? Where's the heart? Maybe it's a heart thing. Maybe he has no drive. I think it was another guy that we might have given up too early on without even really seeing him. You know what I mean? Whenever we would really seen him. So the Lions see him, though. Patricia sees him. Quinn sees him. The O-line coaches see him before us, obviously. So they see things that we don't see. But it's just one of those things that concerns me a bit, because we got guys like Joe Dahl, Kenny Wiggins, Bo Benchwall, Ode Abushi, and Caleb Beninock. 4 or 5 guys that don't really stand out to you, right? But and we don't know who's going to be that other guard because we lost Graham Glasgow to the Denver Broncos. He went there via free agency. So you're going to see either Dull or Wiggins, and probably one of the rookies, or you might probably Jonah Jackson. Personally, I'd like to see the 2 rookies, but I'd also like to see one of these guys get groomed. One of these guys getting groomed to become a better guard for the 2021 season. But if 2 rookie guards could come in and start, but it'd be nice, but sometimes that doesn't happen. I just thought releasing guys like Fulgham and Josh Garnett was just a bit premature. But we'll see what happens, guys. Camp's on the way. More roster cuts are coming. We're probably going to pick more guys up, obviously. So we'll see what happens there, guys. But stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for listening, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to bang out that bell. Hit the all button. Like and comment, because that's what it's all about. And just give me your feedback, guys. Thanks. And I'll try and come at you guys with another video. Have a good one. Boom.